What happens if you eat 2 boiled eggs daily? 2 boiled eggs a day. Every day. That sounds like the kind of habit people announce right before they start posting gym selfies and saying things like, I'm locking in. And honestly, boiled eggs are one of the least dramatic foods on earth. No sauce, no crunch, no sparkle. Just a smooth little oval that smells like responsibility. But here's the question. If you eat 2 boiled eggs daily, what are you actually doing to your body? Are you building muscle, fixing hunger, and becoming a glowing wellness icon? Or are you quietly speed-running a cholesterol plot twist? First, let's give the eggs some respect. 2 boiled eggs usually mean roughly a solid hit of high-quality protein, plus fats, plus vitamins and minerals like B12, selenium, choline, and a bit of vitamin D. In human terms, that translates to you're not eating air. Protein helps with satiety, meaning it can make you feel full longer, which can reduce random snacking. So if your usual breakfast is a sweet coffee and hope, eggs are a major upgrade. But, and this is important, eggs do not live in a vacuum. Your body doesn't just read the egg label and clap. Your body reads the entire day. 2 boiled eggs next to a bowl of vegetables and some whole grains is one story. 2 boiled eggs next to fried everything, a sugary drink, and a late-night delivery habit is a completely different story. So, what changes first when you start this egg routine? Hunger. Many people notice they get hungry later. Protein plus fat slows digestion. That can help people eat fewer calories without feeling punished. It's not magic, it's chemistry and stomach timing. Energy. If you're replacing a breakfast that spikes blood sugar and crashes fast, eggs often feel steadier, less of that I'm starving at 10 a.m. chaos. Cravings. Sometimes cravings drop, not because eggs are special, but because you finally gave your body enough building blocks to stop screaming for snacks. And then there's the gym dream. Protein supports muscle maintenance and repair, especially if you're active. 2 eggs alone won't turn you into a superhero, but they can be a helpful piece in a bigger plan. Now, let's address the drama word, cholesterol. Eggs contain dietary cholesterol, that's a fact. But blood cholesterol is not a simple eat cholesterol, become cholesterol equation. Your liver produces cholesterol. Your body uses it to build hormones and cell membranes. For many people, dietary cholesterol has a smaller effect than expected. For others, especially some hyper-responders, eggs can raise LDL more noticeably. So the real answer is annoying but true. 2 eggs a day can be totally fine for one person and not ideal for another, depending on genetics, overall diet, saturated fat intake, and existing health conditions. Which is why the egg question is never really about the egg. It's about you and about what you eat with it. In other words, the boiled egg might be innocent. Your lifestyle might be the suspect. Let's get more specific, because the body doesn't change in poetic metaphors, it changes in patterns. If you eat 2 boiled eggs daily, one of the most likely benefits is appetite control. Protein and fat increase satiety signals. That can lead to fewer random snacks, fewer sugar raids, and less, why am I eating chips at midnight energy? If your goal is weight loss, this can help. Not because eggs burn fat, but because they can make it easier to eat less without feeling miserable. And boiled eggs are efficient. They're portion controlled and they're not disguised as dessert. But this is where people get tricked. They eat eggs and feel proud, then reward themselves with extra food because they ate healthy. If your 2 eggs are followed by a pastry the size of a pillow, your body will not be impressed. It will simply do math. Now about muscle and fitness. Protein is essential for maintaining lean mass, especially if you train. 2 eggs contribute, but they may not be enough alone, depending on your body size and activity. Think of it like putting 2 bricks down and expecting a full house. It's a start, not the whole structure. What about skin, hair, and glow? Eggs provide nutrients like biotin, B vitamins, and amino acids that support tissue maintenance. So if your diet was lacking, adding eggs could improve things indirectly. But if your skin issues are driven by sleep debt and stress, 2 eggs won't erase your phone addiction at 2 a.m. Now let's talk about the misunderstood villain, fat. Egg yolks contain fat, including some saturated fat, but not in huge amounts by themselves. The bigger cholesterol issue often comes from what is eaten with eggs and what else you eat all day. If your day includes lots of saturated fats from processed meats, butter-heavy cooking, and certain ultra-processed foods, your LDL may rise regardless of the eggs. In other words, the egg is not always the criminal. Sometimes it is just present at the scene. Now, should you fear cholesterol from eggs? For many healthy adults, moderate egg intake is acceptable in the context of an overall balanced diet. But there are exceptions. If you already have high LDL, diabetes, heart disease risk, or a family history of cholesterol problems, you should be more careful and consider medical advice, because your personal risk profile matters more than a generic internet argument. There's also a practical reality. Eating eggs every day can be nutritionally fine, but dietary variety still matters. Your body benefits from different protein sources, fibers, and micronutrients. 2 eggs daily is not a problem if it's part of a varied diet, not a replacement for everything else. And here is the most important sentence in the entire video. If you eat 2 eggs daily, you must also eat fiber. Fiber is the quiet hero. It supports gut health, helps regulate blood sugar, and can support cholesterol balance by binding bile acids. Eggs have basically 0 fiber, so if you go all eggs, no plants, your digestive system may file a complaint. So yes, 2 eggs can be a smart routine, but only if the rest of your plate doesn't act like it hates you. Now let's talk about the real-world consequences people actually notice, not lab numbers. Real life. First, digestion. Some people digest eggs easily, others do not. If you start eating 2 eggs daily and you feel bloated, gassy, or uncomfortable, it might be quantity, timing, or sensitivity. Sometimes the issue is not eggs, but what you pair them with, like dairy, heavy sauces, or too little water and fiber. Second, the boredom factor. Eating the same thing daily is less about biology and more about psychology. If you hate it, you won't stick with it. If you force it, you might rebound with cravings later. So the best routine is not the perfect routine. It's the one you can maintain without turning into a grumpy villain. Third, the healthy halo trap. People start eating eggs and think they are officially healthy now. Then they ignore sleep, movement, and the rest of nutrition. It's like putting a new battery in a broken remote and expecting the TV to fix your life. Let's also address blood lipids more carefully. If you eat 2 eggs daily, the effect on LDL cholesterol varies. Some people see little change, some see LDL rise, some see HDL rise too. The ratio and particle profile can matter, and not everyone has the same response. This is why the smartest strategy is simple. If you truly want to know how eggs affect you, you check. You do a lipid panel, stick with the routine for a few weeks or months, then check again. Because guessing based on social media arguments is not science, it's entertainment. Now let's talk about the biggest missing piece. Your cooking method is already excellent because boiled eggs avoid added oils. That matters. A fried egg cooked in lots of butter is a different nutrition story than a boiled egg, so your choice of boiled is actually a major advantage. But what about the yolk? Should you ditch it? The yolk contains most of the nutrients, including choline, which is important for brain function and cell membranes. The yolk also contains fat-soluble vitamins. If you remove yolks, you remove some benefits, but you also reduce cholesterol and fat. So the best choice depends on goals and health status. If you're generally healthy, 2 whole boiled eggs can be fine. If you're managing high LDL or have medical reasons, you might do 1 whole egg plus extra whites or reduce frequency. The point is not panic, the point is personalization. One more topic people forget: sodium. Boiled eggs themselves do not have much sodium, but if you add lots of salt, salty sauces, or processed sides, sodium can climb. If you already have high blood pressure risk, watch what you add. Now, what does the best version of 2 eggs a day look like? It looks like eggs paired with fiber and micronutrients, vegetables, fruit, whole grains, legumes, and ideally some movement, because the body is not a desk ornament. So the egg routine can be a solid foundation. Just don't build the entire house out of eggs and then wonder why it smells weird. So, what happens if you eat 2 boiled eggs every day? In the best case, you get steadier hunger, better satiety, a convenient high-quality protein habit, and an easy way to avoid sugary breakfasts. You may find it easier to control calories, feel more stable, and reduce random snacking. If you train, you add a helpful protein piece to support muscle maintenance. In the neutral case, nothing dramatic happens. You simply become the person who always has eggs in the fridge and somehow feels superior about it. In the risky case, your LDL cholesterol rises noticeably, especially if you are a hyper-responder or your overall diet is high in saturated fat and low in fiber. Or you might experience digestive discomfort if eggs don't agree with you. Or you might rely on eggs so hard that you forget variety, and your diet becomes nutritionally narrow. The key message is simple. 2 boiled eggs a day is not a miracle. It is not a disaster. It is a tool, and tools work differently depending on how you use them. If you want to do it smart, here's a clean checklist. 1. Keep it boiled, or use minimal oil. 2. Pair eggs with fiber, not just with more fat. 3. Watch the rest of your day. Eggs cannot save a diet that is mostly ultra-processed. 4. If you have heart disease risk, diabetes, high LDL, or strong family history, be more cautious and consider medical guidance. 5. If you want certainty, test your blood lipids before and after a consistent routine. And here's the social reality. Most people don't get harmed by eggs. Most people get harmed by the combination of high saturated fat, low fiber, low movement, and chronic stress. Eggs are often just the scapegoat because they're easy to blame. So the real question isn't, are eggs good or bad? The real question is, what kind of person are you building with your daily habits? A person who uses eggs as a stable anchor in a balanced diet, or a person who eats eggs and then treats vegetables like enemies? Now, a question for you. If you had to choose your daily egg style, what would it be? 2 whole eggs, 1 whole egg plus whites, or eggs only a few days a week? And what would you pair them with to keep the plate balanced? If you want more funny but useful health science like this, please like, share, and subscribe to Wiseuse.